Hello, welcome to another webinar of Wenalyze. I'm Roger, I'm the Chief Operating Officer, and today we're going to talk about how to ensure that open data is reliable. This question emerges when having conversations with commercial insurers. Many insurers are considering using data that is available on internet. However, they need to be sure this data is reliable enough to make such important decisions on underwriting, pricing, or to implement it basically in any type of analytical process. So how do we ensure open data are reliable? Before answering this question, we need to put a little bit of context. Why do insurers consider that open data is something they should be using? Well, the answer is pretty simple. 2 out of 3 small and medium enterprises have data that is inaccurate or is wrong. And the reason why this is happening is because many of this data was collected when doing the policy, and this may have happened many years ago. Businesses continue evolving. They hire new employees, they change their activities, they offer new products, they even open new shops or just move their shop to another place. However, these business owners are not considering that for any change they do, they have to call and update the insurance company about this. So here's the reason why insurance companies are considering using open data. If they use open data, then they can be updated about their business clients without even asking them every time they have to do a change or to renew a policy. The truth is out there. It's very simple. Open data comes from any source in the immensity of internet. So a process that data analytic providers such as Wenalyze are following is collecting first data from hundreds of open data sources, applying technology to understand what is the data we are going to use, what is the data that we need, and if this data is reliable. And once this process is done, then delivering the results to the insurance company. Results that are actionable, results that are simple to read and to understand. And especially all this process in many cases, in case of Wenalyze, of course, are done in real time. So what should we consider about open data? Arctic. Well, not this Arctic, but Arctic stands for accuracy. We need to understand if the data we are retrieving, we are finding, is accurate. Relevancy. We have to answer the question, is this data going to be relevant for the purpose that we want to use it for? Completeness. Is the data complete? For example, if we are retrieving addresses, are we having all the elements of the address that we need, such as postal code, name of the road, number, and so on? Timeliness. We need to understand if the data we are finding is up to date. Immediateness. In many cases, or some use cases, like automating underwriting or automating renewals, we need to access that information in an immediate way. And consistency. What is the way we are connecting to those data sources? Are we receiving them in real time? Are we having a seamless connection with the data analytics provided? So these are questions and very basic points that we should review when trying to analyze and understand what type of open data we're going to use in our processes. So let's see now a couple of examples. We consider the address. So this will be the data that an insurance company will have. We have the name of the business, the address, and the timeliness. The time when this address was added to the database of the insurance company was in April of 2017. So now let's try to find the address that is available on open data sources for this business. We first see on Google for Business that the address is different. It's actually one main row. And the last update for this address and for this business card was 2 days ago. We go to the commercial register and we find that the address is still the same, is one main road. And the last update for this card was March 2021. And then we go to the website of the business and we find that in their signature, the copyright is from 2021. And the address is, again, the same address, one main road, updated, of course, in 2021. So, answering the question, how do we know open data are reliable? Well, it's not about finding it in one way and that's it, we trust that source. Sometimes it's about comparing different data sources, understanding the timeliness, applying the architect that we saw before. And then once we are sure that all these addresses from different data sources are the same and are more updated, that we can understand that the address that the insurance company currently has is outdated. We can update that address and then reassess the risk if necessary. Another question that is not traditionally considered by insurers, but we have demonstrated is very related to how likely is a business to have a claim, are online opinions. Online opinions determine how popular and how well or how bad is a business doing with their clients. So what we see here for this business called Coffee by Bike, which by the way is a fake business. I didn't want to use any real business for this case. We see that they have a 4.6 rating with 349 reviews. But is that the only information we're going to use to know if this business is doing well? No, of course not. It is a little bit more complex. Let's see why. We find the last reviews, and we find that the last reviews are not 4.6 stars on average. They're actually very bad. So for example, this anonymized user, again, we are anonymizing everything, has posted one review with 1 star. And we identify very important keywords, rude and awful customer service. And then they say, don't go by there. However, can we trust this user? Can we trust this opinion? Can we understand that our pricing decision depends on one opinion of one user? Well, of course not. We cannot consider only one opinion of one user. But we also have to differentiate between users. So if we go a little bit deeper on this user, we see that they only have one review. And this user has only had one contribution. So we can understand this user was created on purpose to leave this very bad review to this business 5 months ago. So this could be fake. This could be actually an angry customer, but we cannot rely our decisions on this opinion with a non-verified user. We have the opposite example here. So this anonymized user 2 is a local guide on Google for Business, has 143 reviews and 450 photos. They left 1 star 2 days ago, so it's quite recent. And the keywords are food was dry, low quality. So can we trust this user? I will say this user is verified, has authority, has many reviews. We can see all the reviews are not as bad as this one. So this user, for whatever reason, likes leaving reviews to businesses. And that's how they became local guide. So things to consider. Authority of the user. Is the user posting other opinions? Is the user old? Is the user verified? This user specifically is a local guide. The rating. What is the rating they left? And the date. When did they post this rating. It is not the same if we consider a very bad review posted 5 months ago or 2 years ago, or if we consider that the last bad reviews for 1 star have been posted in the last 3 days. All these conditions change the risk of the business. And of course, the keywords are very important, not only about the review, but also what are they saying about the business. And then here's where technology does its magic. We consider all these for 349 opinions with a machine that analyzes the whole process in only 2 seconds. And then we can get a scoring and we can implement that into the pricing model process, into the analytical process, into underwriting. We have more information about the performance of this business. So, what should we do before using open data? Before deciding to implement open data into our systems or defining a use case for it? Test, of course. We need to do small tests before. A recommendation will be select a bunch of companies, apply this open data, for example, to do renewals and risk assessment, and then compare the results and the loss ratio you are getting to a bunch of companies you're not using open data for. It's basically run a pilot project about it. Of course, review manually. It's very important to review the data we are receiving manually, at least at the beginning, at the first stages. Sometimes the data can be provided with wrong data, inaccurate data, or incomplete data. We need to review manually to understand what is the accuracy level of that data analytics provided. Applying ACTIC, of course, and measuring result, always measure. So compare loss ratio for these bunch of companies that we have applied open data for with loss ratio for other companies we didn't apply any type of open data technology. And after that, we'll realize that open data can really, really improve our results and our processes. So thank you very much. Thank you for attending to the webinar. Thank you for watching the video and for supporting. Of course, like and subscribe if you liked it. If you didn't like it, I'm sorry, but if you reached this point, I don't think you didn't like it. Anyway, if you want to contact us, Wenalyze at wenalyze.com, and we'll see you next month. Thank you.